The marketplace of Kijani stretched out like a living mosaic. Every morning, the streets thrummed with life. Children darted between stalls, coins clinked on wooden tables, and fabrics fluttered in the wind. Vendors called to passers-by, their voices sharp and melodic, advertising spices, fruits, and everything in between. And yet, beneath the chaos, something moved. Something silent. Whispers. Soft, almost unnoticeable, threading through the air. Amina felt them immediately. Her steps slowed as her eyes scanned the crowd. A soft voice drifted from nowhere and everywhere at once. Watch carefully. Listen well. She froze. No one had noticed. No one seemed to care. Only she felt it, like a pulse under the stones, guiding her toward secrets the market hid from ordinary eyes. The stalls were alive with colors and scents. Cinnamon, fresh yams, ripe mangoes, dried fish. The air smelled of rain from the previous night, mixing with the dust of warm cobblestones. Children ran past her, laughing, chasing a stray dog that darted between the legs of the vendors. Coins clattered against wooden tables. Fabric snapped in the wind. But the whispers never stopped. Soft, urgent, calling her attention to details no one else noticed. Amina's eyes fell on a basket that seemed too tall, precariously balanced, yet untouched. A coin rolled backward along the cobblestones, defying gravity. Her curiosity stirred. The marketplace was alive, yes, but it was alive in ways that defied reason. As she moved forward, she noticed a boy juggling oranges. One orange slipped and rolled directly to her feet. Beneath it, a folded piece of paper lay, almost perfectly. She picked it up and unfolded it. Written in a hand she did not recognize were the words, "The shadows know. They wait. Will you see what they hide?" Her heartbeat quickened. The market, so ordinary moments before, now seemed to lean closer, observing her. Every sound was louder. Every movement sharper. And in that moment, Amina realized she was no longer a visitor. She had become part of the story the marketplace wanted to tell. Amina walked cautiously, her eyes scanning the stalls for clues. At the spice vendor, cinnamon towers leaned slightly to one side, as if signaling something. At the fishmonger, scales gleamed unnaturally bright in the sun. Small scratches on the counter seemed deliberate, almost like a pattern. She noticed the way the fabrics fluttered against crates, the subtle shuffle of unseen feet, the way baskets tittered without falling. Every detail seemed alive, as if the market itself whispered secrets only she could hear. The air was thick with anticipation. Something was coming. She could feel it, in the vibration of the stones under her feet. Suddenly, a sharp cry erupted from the other side of the market. A basket tipped violently. Coins scattered across the cobblestones. Vendors shouted. Children screamed. And through it all, the whispers were louder now, urgent, almost panicked. Amina felt her heart race. The market was warning her. She turned to see shadows, moving between the stalls, long, silent shapes, slipping past the edges of her vision. She instinctively ducked behind a stack of fabrics, peering through the gaps. Something, or someone, was watching. From behind a curtain of hanging herbs, an old woman watched her. Her eyes were pale but sharp, as if they could see through time itself. "I see you found the note," the woman said softly, almost whispering. "The market chooses only those who notice." Amina stepped closer. The woman handed her a small glass vial, filled with a clear liquid. "Use this when the shadows draw near," she said. "It will gild you." Amina felt the weight of it in her hand, a strange mixture of fear and determination. The market seemed to exhale, as if acknowledging that its secret was now shared with her. A sudden noise snapped Amina's attention to the other end of the market. A cloaked figure moved swiftly, between the stalls, silent as a shadow. She wanted to follow, but a strange hesitation rooted her to the spot. The whispers circled her, urging, warning, urging again. The market had chosen her path. Every step forward would be dangerous. And yet, the choice was hers. She had heard the whispers. And now, she had to decide, would she follow them into the unknown, or retreat into the ordinary life she had always known? Amina's heartbeat thumped, like a drum in her chest. The cloaked figure had vanished, into the shadows, yet she knew it was still there. The marketplace, once vibrant and alive, had changed. Colors dimmed. Sounds became sharper. Every movement seemed amplified, every whisper heavier. She took a careful step forward, glancing at the stalls around her. Baskets tittered slightly, fabric snapped against crates, and the faintest footfalls echoed behind her. Her eyes caught the shimmer of a coin rolling along the cobblestones. But this time, it wasn't random. It stopped at her feet, as if waiting. Amina bent to pick up the coin, noticing a faint engraving along its edge, strange symbols she had never seen before. The whispers circled her again, soft, insistent, almost like voices of unseen guides. She followed the symbols, as if they were a map, leading her past the spice towers, and fabric stalls toward a narrow alley she had never noticed. The shadows here moved differently. They stretched long, and twisted unnaturally along the walls. A sudden rustle made her freeze. From behind a stack of crates, a small boy peeked at her, eyes wide and fearful. "They are coming," he whispered. Before she could ask more, he vanished into the alley. Amina stepped carefully into the alley, her senses alert. Every sound seemed louder. The whisper of fabric against wood. The shuffle of feet on stones. The faint tap of a coin rolling. She noticed the basket tipped on its side, spilling fruit into the shadow. As she approached, a hand shot out, grabbing her wrist. A young man, face half covered with a scarf, held her tightly. "You shouldn't be here," he hissed. "They are watching. They never forgive those who see too much." Amina's mind raced. Who was he? Were the whispers guiding him, or warning him? The young man released her suddenly, disappearing into the shadows, as quickly as he had appeared. Amina bent down to examine the area he had been guarding. There, etched into the wall behind the crates, were faint markings, a series of symbols, matching the coin's engraving. Her pulse quickened. The market was no longer just alive, it was trying to communicate. She traced the markings with her finger. A faint shimmer glowed under her touch, like the wall itself was breathing. The whispers grew louder, more urgent. "Follow the shadows, follow the shadows." Amina took a deep breath and stepped deeper into the alley. The alley twisted and turned, leading her past old wooden stalls and forgotten crates. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows that seemed to reach for her. Every step was deliberate. She touched walls lightly, listening to the echoes of her own movements. A faint wind carried a smell of herbs and something else, something metallic, sharp, dangerous. Then she heard it, soft footsteps behind her. She spun around. Nothing. Only shadows. But the feeling remained. Someone, or something, was following her. Amina noticed a small door, tucked behind a stack of crates, almost invisible. The door was carved with symbols she recognized from the coin and the wall. Her hand trembled slightly as she pushed it open. Inside was a narrow staircase, descending into darkness. Whispers guided her down, soft and coaxing, "Do not turn back. The truth waits." Each step echoed in the stone passage. The air grew cooler, damp, heavy with secrets. Somewhere below, she could hear faint voices, soft murmurs, like the market itself was alive underground. At the bottom, Amina found a large room, hidden beneath the marketplace. Stacks of crates lined the walls. Old fabrics hung like curtains. Candles flickered, casting long shadows across the floor. In the center, a cloaked figure knelt, examining something glowing on a table. The glow paused, lighting the figure's silhouette in eerie patterns. Amina held her breath, unsure whether to approach or retreat. The whispers seemed to merge into one voice now, steady and commanding. Step forward. Learn the secret. Or live and remain blind. She stepped forward cautiously, the wooden floor creaking under her weight. The figure looked up slowly. Its face was hidden beneath a hood, but the voice was calm and deliberate. You have seen the market signs. You have noticed what others cannot. But seeing is not enough. You must act. Amina's eyes scanned the glowing object on the table. It was a small box, engraved with symbols matching the coin and the walls. A faint hum came from it, resonating through the room, vibrating through her chest. The whispers circled her again. The choice is yours. Courage will be tested. The shadows are watching. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from above, the market above. Coins rattled. Stalls tipped. Shouts erupted. The cloaked figure rose slowly. Time is short, it said. Decide quickly, or the shadows will decide for you. Amina took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her decision. Amina's hand hovered over the glowing box. Her heart pounded like a drum echoing in the quiet chamber. The cloaked figure stood still, watching her, silent and patient. Outside, the marketplace roared with chaos. Coins clattered, vendors shouted, children screamed. Inside, the shadows waited, tense and expectant. She took a deep breath, recalling the whispers, the notes, the symbols, and the warnings. Courage surged. Curiosity overpowered fear. She lifted the lid of the box. Inside lay a collection of objects, small crystals, pulsing with faint light, tiny scrolls written in strange scripts, and a delicate key, silver and etched with the same symbols she had seen everywhere. The figure spoke, voice calm but firm. This is the market's secret. It has been hidden for generations. Only those who notice, who listen, are allowed to wield its knowledge. Amina's eyes widened. Knowledge or power? The whispers seemed to answer her silently, both. Choose wisely. She reached for the key. The moment her fingers touched it, the crystals flared, casting light across the chamber, illuminating every shadow, every hidden detail. Suddenly, the ground trembled. A section of the wall shifted, revealing another passage she had not noticed before. Shadows flowed from it like a living tide, calling toward the chamber. The whispers became frantic, urging her, warning her, act now. The shadows decide for themselves if you hesitate. Amina felt fear clawing at her chest, but she remembered every clue, every sign, every small choice she had made since entering the marketplace. She realized that the shadows were not just danger, they were a test. And test demanded action. The cloaked figure stepped forward, hood still concealing its face. To understand the market's truth, it said, you must walk through the shadows, without turning back. The passage was narrow, suffused with a dim glow from crystals embedded in the walls. The shadows moved, curling and twisting around her like living smoke. Amina's breath came fast. Her hands gripped the silver key, her steps slow but deliberate. The whispers guided her, soft and steady, forward. Trust your sight. Trust your courage. Halfway through, a shadow lunged. She dodged instinctively. The shadow passed through her without touching. Heart racing, she realized the shadows responded to intent. They would not harm those who acted with courage and clarity. As she advanced, symbols on the walls began to glow brighter, lighting a path deeper into the chamber. She saw movement ahead, a figure crouched beside a pile of crates. Another child, the same boy from the alley, held a small lantern. He whispered, "Not everyone who walks here survives." Some lose their way in the shadows forever. Before she could speak, another shadow rose, larger and darker, blocking the path. Amina lifted the crystals from the box, letting their faint light push against the darkness. The shadows recoiled, twisting away, allowing her to move forward. She realized now that the market's secret was not just hidden knowledge, it was a challenge to bravery, to attention, to action. At the end of the passage, a large stone archway appeared, engraved with every symbol she had seen before. Beyond it was a hidden chamber, larger than any stall in the marketplace, filled with treasures not of gold, but of understanding. Maps of the town, diagrams of stalls and streets, old scrolls detailing events, and secrets long forgotten. The cloaked figure spoke again. The marketplace remembers. It watches. It rewards those who see beyond the ordinary. You have chosen to notice, to act, and to learn. That is the market's gift. Amina felt a rush of awe. The whispers were no longer frantic, they were calm, patient, almost approving. She understood, knowledge alone was not enough. Courage, perception, and action together unlocked the secret. She turned back to the passage, the crystals lighting her way, the shadows no longer threatening. Emerging into the marketplace above, night had fallen. Lanterns glowed, casting long shadows. The market seemed ordinary again, but she knew it was anything but. The whispers lingered softly in the wind, a reminder that vigilance and courage were rewarded. Amina held the silver key and the small scrolls close. She had been tested, and she had passed. From that day forward, the market whispered to her alone. She could see what others could not. And she knew, deep in her heart, that life had many shadows, but courage and curiosity could illuminate them all. As she walked past the bustling stalls, she heard a faint whisper, almost playful. Not all shadows are gone, some wait for those who are not ready. Amina smiled slightly, gripping the key. The marketplace had many lessons yet. And she was ready.